From the OnePlus 12, the OnePlus 12, the S24, the S24 Plus, the S24 Ultra. This month has been crazy in terms of phone launches, and I'm just taking the names of a few phones that have launched in January. And you know what? February is looking equally exciting, if not more. And that's also primarily because February is the month of the Mobile World Congress. Yes, MWC that happens in Barcelona every year. We're going to be talking about smartphones and smartphone-related technology as well. And of course, Team Trakin Tech is going to be there covering it. That said, we've picked out 10 of our favorite upcoming phones in February 2024, and the list is looking interesting, I would say. Alright, if you're here for the first time, I'm Arshad, you're watching Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. Now I want to start off with phones under rupees 10,000, and the first one I want to talk about is the Tecno Spark 20. You know what? Tecno and Infinix have been doing a great job lately, and the Spark 20 is also looking very, very interesting. Now this phone is obviously going to be priced under 10,000 with a 6.5-inch HD Plus display and 90Hz refresh rate. What do you guys prefer? Full HD Plus display with 60Hz refresh rate or HD Plus display with 90Hz display? Let me know in the comment section below. Now apart from that, the phone is expected to have a MediaTek Helio G85 chipset with either 4GB or 6GB of RAM. On the rear, you can expect a 50MP dual camera setup with the second camera being mostly pointless. But on the front, this is where things get interesting. You can expect a 32MP selfie camera. I think Tecno is going for the selfie enthusiasts with this phone. That apart, this phone is also expected to have 5000 mAh battery, 18W fast charging, and Android 13 out of the box. Should have come with Android 14, but that's what it is. The next one is very, very interesting, primarily because this one is a direct competition to the Redmi Note series. Yes, Realme is apparently going to come out with the Note series as well, but there is a bit of a twist in this. Now, the very first phone that they're launching is not the Realme Note 1 or 2 or 10 or 20, it's Realme Note 50. Now, this Note 50 is going to be an ultra budget smartphone priced under rupees 8,000. with no 5G, of course. Now, this phone is expected to have a 6.74-inch HD Plus 90Hz refresh rate display, and it will be powered by the Unisoc T612 chipset with 4GB of RAM. You can also expect a 13-megapixel dual camera setup, a 5-megapixel camera on the front, and 5000 mAh battery with 10W charging speeds. Now, the interesting thing about the Realme Note 50 is that it comes with IP54 in that price category, which means that IP rating, at least the IP54 and the 53 and the 52, is not very expensive. Obviously. Now, here's the thing to note about the Note 50 is that this phone has already launched in Indonesia and apparently it won't come to India. Then why even bother about it? Well, anyway, let's see what Realme does. But there is another Realme phone that is expected to come to India, and that one's going to be actually a very good launch considering that that series hasn't come to India in a long time. Stay tuned till the end of the video to know which Realme phone I'm talking about. Or if you can guess it without going to the end of the video, let me know in the comment section below. Alright, let's move on to the phones that are slightly more expensive, of course, under 30,000 rupees. And the first one that I'm going to talk about is the Honor X9B. And I'm going to be talking about this phone is because of the extremely weird marketing that's happening on Twitter around this phone. Mother Sate's gone on an online rampage about how this phone is shatterproof and that you don't need tempered glass. Ah man, tall claims, tall claims. But we like to talk about phones on their merit, and let's talk about what you can expect with terms of the specs. The phone has already launched in global markets. Now, this phone is a very big 6.78-inch Full HD Plus curved AMOLED display and with a refresh rate of 120Hz and a peak brightness of 1200 nits as well. But the most interesting thing is apparently it's shatterproof. I think we should definitely test that claim out. Shouldn't we? We'll do it when the phone comes to us, but the phone is also expected to run on Snapdragon 6 Gen 1. And you can expect two RAM variants, 8GB, 128GB, but only one storage variant, that is 256GB. Now, the camera setup on the rear is a triple camera setup with a 108-megapixel primary camera, 5MP ultra-wide, 2MP macro camera, and on the front you get a 16MP selfie camera as well. Whether the phone is shatterproof or not, what I am really excited to see is that the Honor X9B has a massive battery. It has a 5800 mAh battery inside. So I think that the battery life should be fantastic considering that Honor's operating system is actually very well tuned for battery performance. But in that price category, the charging speeds are slightly slow. If you ask me, it's only 35 watts. Also, another thing that could be a bit of a letdown for a lot of people is that it comes with Android 13 out of the box and not Android 14. Now, this phone is also expected to launch somewhere in mid-February and expected to be priced under 25,000. If it will be priced under 25,000, then I think it could be a good value because it has some interesting propositions in terms of the bigger battery size, and maybe the camera performance will be good, the software experience should be good as well. But here's the interesting thing that happened in the past month or so. The Honor 90 was available for under 20,000 and a lot of people bought it, and at that price that phone is actually very, very good. Now the X9B, if it launches for under 25,000 and if the Honor 90 is also going to be available at that price, then I don't know where it positions itself. Alright, let's move on to the next phone. Again, another phone that is expected to be under rupees 30,000, not under 25,000, is the Nothing Phone 2A. Now we mentioned in our previous video that the phone could be launched in January, but that didn't happen. So we're expecting it to launch in February. Hopefully it will happen. Let's wait and watch. Hopefully, Nothing will talk about it at MWC maybe at least. Let's see what happens. But since we've already spoken about the specs are there for you to see on your screen right now. It's definitely an interesting phone with an interesting design. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Now the next two phones are going to be the upgrades of the Vivo V29 and the V29 Pro. Honestly, the V29 series was very underrated. One of the very, very good phones with decent specs that launched last year. Therefore, I'm really looking forward to the V30 series as well. In China, the phones have actually launched as the Vivo S18 and the S18 Pro. They're going to be rebadged versions of that as the Vivo V30 and the V30 Pro. Now, the V30 is expected to be priced under 30,000 and it has very, very interesting specs. So you can expect the 6.78-inch Full HD Plus 120Hz refresh rate AMOLED curved display, that's for sure. And the chip is going to be the new Snapdragon 7 Gen 3, and there are two variants that are going to be possibly available on this phone. That's 8/128GB and 12/256GB, and this is of course going to be LPDDR, 5 RAM and UFS 3.1 storage. Now, on the rear, you can expect a 50MP primary camera, 8MP ultra wide, and on the front also you can expect a 50MP selfie camera. You know how Vivo cares about selfie in the V series. The phone is also expected to have a glass back and with Android 14 out of the box, which is something that Vivo has been getting right these days. But the more interesting phone is the Vivo V30 Pro, which is expected to be launched under rupees 40,000. Now, this phone's display is going to be similar to the V30, but more interestingly, the chipset will be upgraded to Dimensity 9200 Plus. Again, you can expect two storage variants, 8/128GB and 12/256GB. The camera setup is looking very, very interesting. 50MP primary camera, 50MP ultra wide, 50MP selfie camera, and a 12MP telephoto, 2x probably a portrait camera. You can also expect a 5000 mAh battery, 80-watt flash charge technology as well, and again Android 14 out of the box. The V30 Pro is looking very, very interesting and could be a very formidable camera phone in this price class. Let's wait and watch how it performs. Now, the next phone that I am pretty excited about is the iQOO Neo 9 Pro. And that one's obviously looking very, very good. But more importantly, it's going to be the direct competitor to the OnePlus 12R, which launched recently. So you can expect great specs under rupees 40,000. So it'll have a 6.78-inch flat panel 1.5K AMOLED display with 144Hz refresh rate as well. Now with this phone, you can expect the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. Yes, the 9 Pro when it comes to India will come with Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. And the variants that are expected to launch are 12/256 and 16/512. That's basically LPDDR 5x RAM and UFS 4.0 storage. But what's more interesting to me is definitely the camera setup, because it's expected to have a 50MP primary camera, which is the Sony IMX 920, which is the same sensor that was used on the Vivo X100. That apart, you can also expect a 50MP ultra-wide angle camera, and on the front you can expect a 16MP selfie camera as well. So with respect to camera performance, I'm expecting the iQOO Neo 9 Pro to actually perform better than the OnePlus 12R. And this phone will also come with top of the line, battery specs, because 5000 mAh battery will be obviously there, and 120-watt fast charging as well, with Android 14 out of the box too. And I'm guessing that iQOO will give you 3 years of software updates as well. Definitely, the iQOO Neo 9 Pro is one phone to look out for under rupees 50,000. But let's move on to the premium flagships, and the Xiaomi 14 and the 14 Pro are coming really soon. Now, whether they will launch in India or not is something that is up in the air. There is a lot of talk on Twitter that the Xiaomi 14 Pro will not come to India. The Xiaomi 14 and the 14 Ultra will come to India. We don't know, but the 14 and the 14 Pro have already launched. And of course, the specs are all out there for you to see as well. What I particularly like is the Xiaomi 14 because it's actually a compact phone, and compact phones are very hard to come by these days. Now, this phone has a 6.36-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display with extremely slim bezels. There's Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 and a 50/50MP camera setup with a telephoto as well, with Leica tuning too. And on the front, there's a 32MP selfie camera, Android 14, probably HyperOS out of the box as well. Despite having a small body, it has a 4610 mAh battery, 90-watt fast charging support, and of course, glass back with Xiaomi ceramic glass protection as well. Honestly, I really want Xiaomi to bring the Xiaomi 14 to India. It's a very, very interesting proposition and a very good alternative to the Samsung Galaxy S24 that launched recently. So if Xiaomi can launch the Xiaomi 14 under rupees 60,000 or around the 55,000-60,000 rupees price category, it'll be very, very interesting. So Xiaomi 14 Pro will of course have a bigger, larger display, 6.73-inch display, and a QHD Plus panel as well. And it will have a larger battery, a 4880 mAh battery. Xiaomi 14 Pro is also looking very, very interesting as well. Okay, remember that Realme phone that I was alluding to at the start of the video? Well, it's the Realme GT5 Pro. Yes, the GT series could make a comeback to India, and that's really, really exciting for me. Now, the Realme GT5 Pro is a phone that we've already tested and we've put up on our channel. And that time, I had specifically mentioned that if Realme launches this phone at a very aggressive pricing, of course, priced lower than the OnePlus 12, which it can do because the camera setup is not that great and the camera performance was not that great. Hopefully, when it comes to India, they'll fix that. But if they can launch it at an aggressive price, maybe even lower than the price of the iQOO 12, it will be very, very interesting. And the interesting thing about the Realme GT5 Pro is that periscope camera as well. So yeah, this is a phone to look forward to as well. Definitely, especially if you are an Android flagship enthusiast. And finally, an affordable foldable flagship is expected to launch the second version of it at MWC this year, and that is the Tecno Phantom Fold V2 or version 2. This phone is expected to have a 7.85-inch AMOLED display on the inside with 1.5K resolution, 120Hz refresh rate, and of course LTPO as well. And the external display is expected to be a 6.42-inch small one, and of course with Full HD Plus resolution. And apparently it will come with Corning Gorilla Glass witness protection this time around on the external display. That is very, very interesting. Also, since last year's Tecno Phantom Foldable also was based on the Dimensity platform, this year as well it'll have the Dimensity 9300 chip. The camera is expected to be 50MP primary, 50MP telephoto, and a 13MP ultra wide. And of course, a 16MP selfie camera on the inside and a 32MP selfie camera on the cover as well. So 5 cameras. There is going to be no dearth of cameras on the Tecno Phantom Fold V2. The name's quite a mouthful. Now you can also expect 12GB RAM, 128GB storage, 256GB storage as well. These are the options, but 128GB in 2024 should have been 256GB by default and maybe a 512GB variant as well. But yeah, I'm guessing that's how Tecno wants to keep the costs low. And you can also expect a 5000 mAh battery and 45W charging as well. And the pricing will again be around that 1,90,000 mark so that, it is affordable to the customers. All right, which one of these upcoming phones are you guys excited for? Let me know in the comment section below. And there are a lot of other phones that we haven't spoken about. Apparently, the Samsung Galaxy M series and the F series upgrades are also expected to come, considering that the A series launched and nobody spoke about it actually, right? Do you think that we should cover the A24 on our channel? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, we're working on a lot of videos for you. So if you want to know the latest about not just smartphones, but all gadgets in general, including audio tech, you know how much I love it. If you want to know all of that, subscribe to our channel and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.